Hey Cynthia, we're here in Seattle and we're here with the folks from Rowan. We kind of escaped from the store for a few days and we're here to see the new collection that's coming out for 2019-2020. I know you took lots of great pictures. I've been trying on all the new designs and clothes. We can't really unveil them yet, but we wanted to just give you a sense of what Rowan is all about, some of the people that work for Rowan, and we're lucky enough to have a few of them here with us today. So let's start with Martin. Martin, you've been a designer with Rowan for quite a few years.
Yes, I came in around about the early 90s with just contributing designs to the Rowan magazine, which I guess was around about magazine 15, 16 then, and that carried on for a number of years. And then in 2000, 2001, I came as a contracted designer working initially on the Jaeger hand knit range of designs and yarns, which we had a license to design for. And then that carried on for another 4 years. And then I took on the design for RYC, the classic range of Rowan design, which introduced the Cash Soft DK 4-ply merino ranges. And now I'm just under the general umbrella of Rowan, designing for the magazines and seasonal brochures for men, women, children, accessories, everything really.
Everything really, yeah. Do you have any idea how many books and magazines you?
Well, I was trying to add it up, and it's creeping up to, it's in the triple figures.
Really? Wow.
It is.
I know.
Just getting, because that's just not magazines, but that's standalone brochures and books, which I do some third-party publishing books as well. But my standalone brochures and books are getting into the hundreds.
That's quite a legacy.
It is, yes. But that's over a number of years. Forget, over 20 plus years. So
yeah. Nice. And we also have Trisha. Malcolm, Trisha, you're a new member of the team, right?
I am.
For Rowan?
Yes.
Can you tell us just briefly what you do for the company?
Yeah, I'm a brand strategist, working over all of the different brands that come, under the parent company that owns Rowan.
Right. So what does a brand strategist do? What's a typical day for you?
Well, I've only been here a few weeks, so there's no typical day.
Okay.
And there's a lot of typical flying, right?
Yes.
You do a lot of traveling.
A lot of traveling. Yeah, well, so recently, yes. So my role is to look at different areas of the brands and see what we can do to optimize sales. So that might mean looking at the digital strategy, and it might mean looking at the range of yarns, make sure that they're the right yarns for the business, that kind of stuff.
Maybe getting rid of a few or adding a few, depending on where. So do you have kind of a real future forward focus to your work?
A little bit,
would you say?
Yes, absolutely. Probably more than a little bit, wouldn't you say?
Yeah.
Definitely more than a little
Yeah.
bit.
Yeah.
It's about all the brands, so it's about Red Gear and Shakamaya and not just Rowan. So it's everything that Metz does, anchor the embroidery side of the business. So.
Wow. That's really
So
bigger than yarn.
Yes, and some of those things I haven't even looked at yet, or haven't even met the staff yet.
Yes, yeah. I'm sure that'll come for you, probably as soon as you get home.
Yes.
Yeah. And Sharon, tell us a little, this is Sharon Brandt. Sharon, your role with Rowan is?
So I'm brand director for Rowan Yarns. I became brand director 3 years ago. I've been with Rowan for over 24 years and gradually just grown through the company really. I started as a design consultant, teaching people to knit and helping them with their yarn choice in store, and then it's gradually developed through the years. And, now I find myself holding the brand in my hands, which I find is an honour, but also a very scary thought about where we take it and what we do in the future. But thoroughly enjoy it. So.
Well, we really enjoyed your presentation over the last few days, and I learned something new, that a lot of your background is in theater and costume design. That was
never really aimed to be like that. So I've had this career that's just developed that I wasn't even looking for. But yeah, just happened to knit for somebody that lived next door to an actress, and then knitted for her, and then that sort of moved on. And then costume people always take a little black book around with them, and they just needed people with knitting expertise. So that's what then sort of came into Harry Potter and Phantom of the Opera and Batman and several films, so but great fun to do.
And always in knitwear?
Always knit, yeah. I didn't do costume design. I didn't even study design. I had studied in banking business, so
really?
I sort of had a banking background, so
yeah,
not really creative at all, but just always loved knitting, so it's just developed from there, really.
Do you do a lot of traveling as well?
Yes, always travelling. So I, or could be working from home as well. So I have that pleasure as well. But we just keep coming up with new ideas and new things we need to do. And it's important for us to come and meet retailers like yourself. So we're just always out and about trying to get as much information. So that helps us where to go with the brand and what to do.
So Cynthia, Sharon's been sharing with us where Rowan's going in 2019 and 2020. So it's going to be really exciting. We were fortunate enough to have an advance preview of some of the new yarns that are coming out and the new designs. So we've got lots of information to share with everybody when we get home. So I noticed that there's a few people knitting, and Martin's knitting on something really special here. Can you tell us a little bit about what this is, Martin?
Well, this is a square for my next knit along, which is going to be a cable and bead technique full square project. We'll be releasing a square per week from the 13th of May. So 4 squares all together, and then we'll be featuring videos how to construct them into a cushion, which is made up of 9 squares in 4 different variations, a throw and a beaded trim for the throw, and that will form the latter part of the knit along. So it goes over, I think, over 8 weeks in total, finishes around the end of June.
Nice.
I've chosen the pure wool superwash worsted, which I used in my first Cal in 2014, and then the second one in 2015, which proved very popular. And also I'll be we'll soon be filming tutorials to show knitters how to thread the beads and how to work the beads within the pattern. But also we will offer a non-beaded alternative for those people who don't
necessarily want to knit with
particularly
beads.
want any bling on their projects. So but all that information will be available in the next few weeks
on the website. But
officially it begins on the 13th of May. So I'm hoping it'll inspire a lot of people to pick up their needles and try out some beading if they haven't tried it before, and also some slightly more advanced cable work. This particular square actually doesn't use a cable needle. It gives a cable effect.
It does look like cables.
With a slip stitch, which you drop the slip stitch and pick it up and cross them over. It sounds a bit scary, but it's very, very simple.
And is there particular stitch patterns that lend themselves nicely to beading?
Yes, ones that, particularly cables that you can sit the bead in the centre of, or I've used them within a small diamond cable repeat and place them in a cluster in the centre, and then I've actually a larger diamond cable where the cables are actually sitting on the cable itself, so they're forming and then one is a little twig cable design with just the bead at the top of the twig, so it's like a sort of like a little Christmas tree kind of thing. How do you design that? Like, when you think of that, do you sketch in a sketchbook or? For this, I did a lot more swatching because it was trying to get the bead falling where I needed it to fall. For instance, on this, the bead is actually not on the central stitch; it's a stitch above because the bead drops. If I placed it on the central stitch, it wouldn't give the illusion that it was in the centre. So normally when I want a bead to fall dead centre, I place it on the row below. So on the row above, and the row above is actually a wrong side row. So I beaded from the wrong side, so it falls on the right side. So that'll all be available in the tutorials.
Right. So is this the very first square that people are going to be working on, or do you work in advance? I'm
not sure if this is the first square. Without referring to our marketing material, but it forms one of the 4 squares.
Right.
Yes.
Oh, that's nice. And Trisha, what are you working on?
I'm working on a vest that's going to have a stick.
Oh.
It's actually not my knitting though.
Right.
It's not my knitting.
What yarn are you using?
Valley tweed.
Rowan Valley tweed.
Oh, yes.
Yep. I actually left my knitting in my room, so I'm filling in with someone else's knitting.
Okay.
But I'm knitting with a brand new yarn that isn't released yet.
Okay.
So it's probably a good thing I left it in my room.
Yes. Can you give us any hints? Is it lovely and lush? And
it's absolutely beautiful.
Yes.
Is it?
Sumptuous.
And what kind of design are you knitting out of it?
Oh, I'm just knitting a simple hat.
Oh,
It's
nice.
one of the hats from the new collection.
Okay, that's great. And Sharon, can you tell us, what's coming out for Rowan? What can you tell us? You're in charge of kind of what's going to happen in 2019, 2020.
Well, we're just always looking for something new. Last year was all about the anniversary and giving back and the heritage. So we've done a conscious effort this year of sort of bringing some new and exciting things. So we've got a new sub-brand launching, and we've got some beautiful yarns, as Trisha's just sort of hinted. So there's lots to look forward to for the autumn, and hopefully, inspiring people to come to Rowan and knit their projects. Really.
Right.
And I've got that great moment where I finished all my knitting.
Yeah.
And I'm going to be heading home to a new project. So
lovely.
Which one I'm going to do now. So,
nice.
So I've got that.
It's always fun to start something new, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't done that for a while, so I had to do a baby blanket, and then I had to do a few samples, and so this is all about choosing a new project for me.
Nice.
Tell us about what you're wearing.
Oh, so this is from the magazine 64, so last autumn winter, and it was in the Alpaca Classic. It was shown in a sort of like a nude pink in the book, and everyone, when I wear it, everyone says, "Oh, I didn't see it," but it is definitely there. It's I can't remember the name of the cardigan, but it's just got a really nice simple little lace pattern on it. And I just live and die in it. It's just so light, so it doesn't get over hot, and so I enjoy it. And so we've just come from presentation, so it's really comfortable to wear, and whenever I wear it, everyone wants to make it. So.
And I bet it packs really well too.
Yeah, it's really light, so it's great for traveling. As well.
So I'm hoping that the new line will have lots of pieces that people of different sizes can wear.
Yeah, so I'm very conscious about size and sort of shapes and body shapes and everything. So that's something we've brought into the brand over the last couple of years. So whenever we do design selection, we're looking at body shapes and also sort of knittability as well. So where, Rowan sometimes was always known for super complicated things. So we do have those lovely showstoppers and those beautiful complicated knits, but we also have simple and sort of nice texture and just, one colourway, because, not everyone wants to wear lots of colours. So,
right.
Hopefully it's sort of, there's something for everyone in the books. So.
Nice, thank you. So, the last question is just, around what you do for fun and for entertainment. Cynthia and I always talk about, if we were on a deserted island and we could bring one yarn, what would that be? What would that be for you?
Oh, goodness. One yarn.
I know, that's hard,
Someone
isn't it?
asked me earlier today what was my favourite yarn, and it's really hard to have one favourite because I have different things for different. Kids at Hayes has always been the favourite, and I think if I was on a desert island, one, it would, because it's fine, you can do lots of different things with it, but also it crochets well, and so maybe Kids at Hayes, I think, because of the colours, and then also all the combinations you can do. So I think it's so hazy.
So is it about the feel for you when you think about a yarn? Some people think about color work and stickiness and wool and.
Well, obviously now sort of our roles are sort of like looking at the yarn development for everybody. So it's quite a challenge to sort of find that yarn that we think everyone will love. And do they love the same things we do? But for me, it's got to. I've got to pick it up and go. Oh my goodness, I want it. You know, if I've got that, then I think then hopefully other people have it as well. So it's the sort of test, as David and I put it. If we go, that's nice, then it's definitely staying on the table for the next development level. So so they have to have that scrumptious feeling for me.
Do you have a favorite, Trisha?
Probably the one I'm knitting with now.
Valley tweed.
No, not the
okay, sorry.
The
new
one in the new one, yes. Which we're not going to tell you.
It's lovely. It's a mix of cashmere, silk, and alpaca, I think. Mohair. And it's super lightweight, and it's a tape, and it's just so luxurious. Knitting with it is beautiful, and then the feel of the fabric is incredible. It's so airy and light, and it's dreamy. It's absolutely gorgeous.
With that cashmere, it must fill in the holes a little bit too, so you're probably going to get a nice fabric with some drape.
You definitely get drape, and you also have a beautiful halo around it, and there's a tiny, tiny hint of a shine that just defines your stitches perfectly.
Oh, that sounds like sounds exciting.
Yes.
Martin, same question for you.
Again, very difficult to choose.
Yeah.
I think I'd probably choose, I've been saying a lot in this presentation, soft yak because of its versatility.
I was going to guess soft yak.
And also because it cables so well and shows texture so brilliantly, as well as colour work. And also I think for those sort of cooler island evenings, that would be perfect.
Yes. Now, soft yak is yak and cotton, is it not?
It is, yes. It's a mixture. So yak gives it the cotton some stability, and being a nice rounded yarn as well, it gives it great character, particularly, as I say, in Aran cable, Guernsey work. I always go back to that if I know something isn't working in another yarn, I know that will work in soft yak, particularly stitch work. So particularly in summer, but it's now become very much a transitional, trans-seasonal yarn. So we're using it all the year round.
And isn't that nice? I mean, when you spend all that time knitting a sweater or a big shawl or a wrap, it's nice to wear it all year round, isn't it?
Yes, absolutely. Yes, and that perfect yarn fulfills that criteria. Yes, we find, particularly over here as well, where your winter seasons are very short.
Right.
It's perfect for that sort of.
And so that plays in a lot in your design, I would imagine, as well.
Yes. We have to be aware of that, and we're doing a lot more. Where we're using yarns all year round rather than just being strictly summer or autumn winter, and particularly the soft yak and cotton cashmere, the alpaca classic, which Sharon's wearing today, is another great trans-season yarn because it's light enough and warm enough for both winter and summer.
The lovely thing about soft yak though is also its dyeing process, because the yak takes the dye differently to the cotton, so you get that lovely marling within the yarn. So it's not a flat colour, which then gives it really nice interest.
So almost like a hand painted, you probably see variation.
We're not sort of about flat colour, are we? We like to sort of have that sort of like texture to the colour. So, so that's what makes it lovely with the soft yak, and especially when Martin starts cabling with it and things and putting 3D into the stitches.
Gives it more interest, more Rowan. It's more, what we would think of as a Rowan yarn. Yes. When we have that sort of slight character that goes into it with the similarly the Modale as well with the alpaca, which doesn't dye. It's just the wool part that takes the dye, so you get that slight fleck of alpaca running through it, which is
and a bit of a shine probably with the Modale.
Yes, absolutely.
Well, thank you so much, you guys, for sharing and spending some time with us. We've really enjoyed this.
Yes.
So, Cynthia, is there any last questions that we've missed, or?
Well, I guess I was thinking one thing might be if somebody wanted to do the knit along, Martin, but they wanted to use a yarn that was maybe not as heavy as the pure wool worsted.
Yes.
Could they do it in, like a double strand of kid silk haze or
yes,
or soft yak?
So long as they get this. they can achieve the similar tension, yes, because obviously if you're doing it in like in a DK, your squares will be smaller, so they won't actually be,
the right size.
You'd need more squares, wouldn't you?
Yes, you'd need more squares to create the blanket or the cushion, but it's so versatile. And for the throw particularly, it wouldn't really matter if you did it in a DK weight or fine, or you just knit more squares, and they should come out the same sort of dimensions. And similarly for the cushion, just adapt it accordingly. And if you need to add another square, a row, or a column of squares, so that's the beauty of it. It's so versatile.
Right.
You could always do a DK and then add like a strand of kids or haze.
Yes.
Put a bit of like luxury into it.
Yes.
Wouldn't that be lovely?
That would be
Just
lovely.
a little bit of
Yeah.
halo.
Yeah.
What would you pick for your DK base?
Yeah, because there are quite a few.
I'd mostly go felted tweed and kids or haze.
Yes?
Yeah.
Wouldn't that look
makes
beautiful?
A lovely mix, yeah.
Yeah, that's a very popular combination. And the valley tweed looks very nice.
Yeah,
as
valley
well,
tweed with kids or haze
with
looks
kids
lovely
or
as well.
haze.
Now, valley tweed's
Soft
finer
gel.
though than felted tweed. Do you think you'd
valley
still?
tweed and felted tweed are the same.
Are they?
Same gauge.
I thought that this replaced the fine tweed.
No, we made it slightly thicker than the fine tweed.
Oh.
The fine tweed was too brittle. It just breaks too easily.
Okay.
So we brought that up to the felted tweed thickness.
Okay, so they're interchangeable. That's great. I'm glad that Rowan's done that. That's so nice to be able to have several different options.
Yeah, that's
When
what
you're
we
looking
like
at-
to try and offer, so that if people don't want tweed, they can go for something else. So we are looking always to sort of see what's interchangeable and what works together. So.
I guess that's one more question for me, and that's about the gauge on the ball bands. Do you know?
Right.
So we were talking about this a little bit earlier about gauge and what categories each of the yarns falls into. But so, for example, Rowan Cocoon is gauged on a 7mm needle. So for me, it doesn't fall into a category really easily.
Yeah, we
I guess
don't.
it's chunky.
Yeah, because we don't really put the yarns into categories. Like sometimes we just find it, fall upon it, and it actually ends up a DK or it is an Aran or something. But we don't purposely go out to get a set gauge yarn. And sometimes we think that works nicely for the customer because then they can, they know they're going to get that look and feel of what they see in the design. So, so we never really sort of we don't like to be put in boxes.
Right.
So occasionally we are because we think, oh, that's a perfect DK weight,
Yes,
so we'll say
yes.
it's a DK.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
more often than not, they're developed and they're slightly off gauge. And then also you need to watch out because your gauge on your ball band might be different to the gauge the designer's chosen to use for the design. And that's so that the designer may want to, like Martin might want to use it in a different way to how. So it's only an average is what's on the ball band. So.
And then every knitter's different too, right? Which is why you
should
put
always
gauge
check
on
your gauge,
in the pattern. Yeah.
Yeah, perfect.
All right.
All
I
right.
think we're done.
I think so too. Thanks,
Thank you.
everybody.
Thank you.
Thank
Yes.
you.
Yes.
Bye.
Fantastic.
Perfect.
Because they're all.
That looks like those bobbles on that sweater.
There was, yeah.
Who did one for Vogue like
Yeah, a
that,
bit
remember?
like that, yes. Yeah.
Yeah. And that one with
I
the
just love
lovely
that piece.
cable edging.
Because their size, the size and
Yeah.
ponchos.
That's cute.
Yeah, I remember crocheting those little balls.
So do you do the finishing, Sharon, of any?
I did when we
Did
did
you?
this book, yeah. I had a lot more time on my hands. This is the one with the... that was a lovely sweater with tiny cables as well. The hat. With the loops.
How many patterns are in this book? There's a lot.
There's a lot in here, yeah.
Yeah, there was a huge amount.
It tells you at the front how many.
35.
35.
More than 35.
Yeah.
Grief, I didn't realise there was as many as that.
I think we just like that one and we like that one, so we just kept them all in. Yeah. Great. Okay.
All right.
So who am I signing? Who are we signing
Barb,
this book to?
just to Barb.
To Barb.
Mm-hmm.
This is your little fan
My
moment.
fan moment. Yeah. Well, it's not very often that you get, Martin, Sharon, and Trisha in the same room.
Right?
We're pretty lucky.
We are very lucky.
I know.
Here you go, Martin.
Okay.
Thank you so much, you
Well,
guys.
thank you as well. It's been
It's been just lovely. So where are you off to next?
Home.
We're heading home. Yeah, going to see the family for a little bit and then take a few days rest. You're going home to Brooklyn, aren't you, for a few days?